Welcome to Requirements Definition Introduction Training. For the last couple of weeks, I've been helping a friend to buy a new home for him and his family. He said that he wanted to custom build a house, so he could pick and choose the different features and elements for his new home. So I sat with him as he met with builder after builder, which led us to lot after lot to look over half-built home after half-built home. Then, finally, a home builder showed him a home plan that was in his budget and met his family's needs. He loved it. The pre-selected floor plan, including the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and the size of each room, was just right for him and his family. The plot of land looked great. To make the deal even better, the builder already had one under construction. They had already framed the house, installed a roof, wired the house for electrical, and completed the water lines for plumbing. So he signed a contract that very day, and on the next day, I went with him to choose all the different features of the home, like flooring, cabinets, and appliances. About an hour and a half into the selection process, I suddenly realized the home builder was actually helping my friend define his own home requirement. I watched as the seller systematically went room by room and upgrade by upgrade, explaining each option and the pros and cons of each choice. The further we went into this process, the clearer we became about how the final deliverable was going to look. My friend picked the specific brick, stone, trim, windows, doors, flooring, driveways, walkways, blinds, fan fixtures, handles, knobs, and paint colors from the builder's catalogs, again in a very systematic process. At the end of the process, both parties understood what tasks were to be undertaken, what the final cost was, where the home was to be built, and when the house would be completed. Like the home builder, the contracting office and requiring activity working on the acquisition both need to be aware and knowledgeable about the options they have to meet the mission's needs. And they will need to know how to work together to accurately compose and deliver a well-defined requirements package. As our training transitions from the acquisition planning phase, where you focused on conducting market research, accomplishing risk assessments, and appointing acquisition teams, we're now going to enter the requirements definition phase, where we will be reviewing, revising, and approving various requirements documents. The most critical component of issuing a solicitation, being able to efficiently award a contract, controlling costs, and knowing that you are making the best decision on behalf of the government, is centered on your ability to oversee the requirements definition process. But who is responsible for defining the requirement? Well, it's the requiring activity responsibility to identify and define the requirement and prepare the acquisition requirements package. So we know that answer. It's the requiring activity's responsibility to define the requirement. The next question is, what is the contracting officer's responsibility in defining the requirement? Well, the contracting officer has the overall responsibility for the contract formation process, which makes it necessary for requirements documents to be prepared in coordination with the designated contracting officer. So, while contracting officers are not composing the documents, they are still ultimately responsible for coordinating and approving the documents before using them to issue a solicitation. This responsibility to coordinate in the preparation of the requirements package, and then having the overall responsibility for the contract formation process, makes it necessary for contracting officers and contract specialists to possess the communication skills required to efficiently, effectively, and accurately explain the government's requirements to potential contractors in hope that, if done correctly, the government will receive the maximum benefit from the dollars spent. Requirements that are defined incorrectly or ambiguously will likely result in wasted time and money. In this requirements definition training, we will take a closer look at some of the most important requirements documents, and we'll look at how they are used in performance-based acquisitions. We'll explain how to use work breakdown structures, performance requirement summaries, performance incentives, performance work statements, and quality assurance surveillance plans. And you'll learn the steps to compose a performance-based acquisition using its most essential elements, which are the performance objectives, performance standards, acceptable quality levels, and methods of surveillance. How well we know the process of defining our requirements will determine how efficiently, effectively, and accurately we are able to award contracts. And one last thing. I know this is a lot to cover and a lot to learn about, but I want to issue a challenge. For those of you that are interested in increasing your levels of influence in the workplace, and for those of you that want to improve and develop your personal levels of leadership, as we go through these topics, try to actively think about how to use this training to support your customers. When you begin to think with a customer support mentality on a daily and even hourly basis, and as you begin to implement the lessons you learn in training into your daily routine, you will find yourself being more proficient in your job performance and having a greater level of respect amongst those you work with. People will take notice when you become more proficient in your work. Leadership involves setting directions, aligning people, and providing motivation when necessary. We have opportunities every day to lead our contracts, our coworkers, and even ourselves. Understanding how to define a requirement is a great way to practice and develop your own leadership skills. With that said, let's get started on requirements definition.